On March 3rd of 2008, a brutal murder scene was discovered in a residence at 722 Lester Street in Memphis, Tennessee. Upon responding to a call from a woman concerned about her son and his father, Memphis police discovered 6 individuals murdered and 3 seriously injured in the home. Among these victims, the 3 seriously injured and 2 of the dead were children. Autopsy determined that the adult victims had been shot multiple times with a semi-automatic weapon, and the children had been stabbed multiple times and received blunt trauma to the head. Initially, police believed that the massacre was the result of gang activity. Upon further investigation, Jesse Dotson, who was related to all of the victims, was found to be the murderer. Dotson confessed that he had gotten in an argument with his older brother Cecil Dotson and shot him to death. In order to eliminate witnesses, he attempted to murder the rest of the individuals that were in the house at that time. In 2010, Jesse Dotson was convicted of 6 counts of first-degree murder and was sentenced to death.
Here we are in Memphis, Tennessee. We are going to be driving to the site, 722 Lester Avenue, where that brutal massacre occurred in 2008. Currently, Jesse Dotson is on death row in Tennessee. He was charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder, and he got the death penalty in each murder. So right now, just looking at this area, I wouldn't say this is the worst neighborhood I've ever seen. It's more of like an industrial type area, lower end working class neighborhood. I don't know if I would use the word ghetto. However, it's definitely hoodish, to say the least. And you know, if he had left no survivors, you would think maybe these would be possibly unsolved murders. Who knows? I was reading an article about an interview that they did with Dotson's former cellmate, because he did do 13 years in prison for shooting and killing somebody several years ago, and his cellmate said that this guy was planning on killing his brother when he got out, because he believed that he was sleeping with his girlfriend and had stole some stuff from him. So this murder was already in the works. He said this guy Dotson was just a complete nutcase, always angry, always upset, always mad at something. He would try to read the Bible to Jesse, and Jesse would just like blow him off. And he wasn't shocked in a sense when he seen who committed this these murders. He was just like, dang, I knew this guy was going to kill his brother when he got out of prison, but I didn't know he was going to, you know, take his brother and 5 other people along with him. A very, very sad situation. And we are turning left on Lester. And this is a dead-end street, so, but I'll point the camera. That is the house right there, behind those trees. Take it off the mount right there. That's it right there with the satellite. That's another shot of the house right there. Wow. You know, when this murder happened, surprisingly enough, a lot of people were very concerned. I mean, other than the murder, because that was a dead-end street that I just shown you, and it's a quiet street. I mean, this isn't a ghetto neighborhood. It's a little bit rough, but I don't get these houses, there's some decent houses right here. And a lot of the neighbors that live on that street, you know, it's a quiet street. Nobody's going up and down through your street. Those dead-end streets, those are normally quiet. And they were worried after the murder, well, who are we going to get as a neighbor now? Because a lot of those people on that street, they lived there for 20, 30 years. And that's what, you know, you always worry when you live next to somebody for years on end. I'm pretty sure when your neighbor moves or they pass away and then the house goes for sale, you say, okay, who's the next one up? So a very, very horrific and brutal crime, to say the least. But yeah, you know, there's some boarded up houses here, but I also see plenty of nice houses as well. See this young man getting his groove on over here. Okay, very good. We're gonna go visit the final resting place of the family. So we're gonna drive a few miles down the road right here. And here we are at the Forest Hills Cemetery, Midtown, and this is the grave of two of the victims, Marissa Renee Williams and her son, Samario DeJuan Dotson. Now, the father, Cecil Dwayne Dotson, and his other son, Cecil Jr., they're buried somewhere else in the cemetery. I was wanting to go show their graves, but the office said that you have to go make an appointment to go inside, and they couldn't tell me over the phone for some odd reason I don't know. So the other two victims, Hollis Seals, he's buried in another cemetery in town, and Shindri Robertson, she's buried, I believe, about an hour and a half outside of Memphis, Tennessee. Of course, Jesse Dotson, the murderer, he does have an execution date, I believe. However, with the appeals process, it's going to be quite some time before he sees Judgment Day. And just a very tragic massacre conducted by a sick and twisted monster. Rest in peace to the victims. Ultimately a senseless tragedy. It's one thing if you have a beef with your brother, you can always have a fist fight, but to bring other innocent people into the mix, especially, you know, the 5 kids, 2 of them ended up being killed. That just shows you what kind of depraved person he was. Just a depraved monster. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. I gotta hit the road. I'll catch up with you on the next vlog. Have a good day. Peace out.